What is your favorite dad joke? I love my furniture, my recliner, and I go way back. The only joke my dad ever uses: I took up origami for a while, but I gave it up because it was too much paperwork. Dad, nice shirt. Is that felt? Not dad. No. Dad, *REACHES over, and touch a sleeve it is now. Anyone can get buried when they die. If you want to be cremated you have to earn it. Would you like the milk in the bag? Dad, no thanks. You can keep it in the carton. I tell dad jokes. Sometimes he laughs. Dad putting car in reverse. Dad, AHH. This takes me back. Not a joke in the traditional sense, but when I'm at a restaurant and the waitress says, "Do you want a box for that?" I always reply with no, but I'll wrestle you for it. No one ever gets it, but it makes me laugh. And that's the point, right? If a child doesn't want to take a nap, are they guilty of resisting arrest? Asked by one of the guys at a volunteer event to a sheriff. Why do graveyards have gates? Because people are dying to get in. My dad always told it passing a graveyard. You've got the Midas touch, but only for one specific object. What do you pick that keeps you rich, but doesn't overly inconvenience your life? Cigarettes. I'd still have to buy them, but I wouldn't be able to smoke them, and they'd be worth hell of a lot more. Can I wear gloves to negate the Midas effect? Either way it would be Lego. Doesn't affect the experience too much. Yeah, it gets heavier and you lose all color to gold, but who cares, I'll be that eccentric rich guy with a golden Death Star. Dog poop, no one wants to deal with it, but if you accidentally touch it, it becomes a pleasant surprise, rather than a face-scrunching experience. Lotto tickets. Asbestos. I charge 80% of the usual decontamination fees and double dip. Rubber duckies. Because it would be amusing. Coins. I rarely use change, but would make daily trips to pawn shops to sell gold penis. Edit. Mint pennies. Playing cards. They'd just look sick too. Candy wrappers. They're going in the garbage anyway, but now just a flat sheet of gold. And they don't affect the candy. Plus I can usually find a bunch on the ground on the street. Bowling balls. Millennials of Reddit. Now that the first batch of Gen Zs are moving into the working world, what is some advice you'd like to give them? Your first job doesn't have to be your only job. Always keep your options open and look for ways to move up in your company or another company. Don't compromise a decision that's in the best interest of your own career growth because you feel it would be a disservice to your current employer. They will do a disservice to you in a heartbeat if it's in the best interest of the company. Once you start earning income and living on your own, you will have a greater presence in various mailing and call lists. The overwhelming majority of companies who utilize these lists are criminals. The IRS does not send phone calls. These are scams. No collections agency or law enforcement office will call you to inform you you're about to be arrested unless you do what they say. These are also scams. If you get a call about suspicious activity, check your bank account and call your bank to verify. Most of the time, this is a scam. Asterisk. If Microsoft calls you about the sudden termination of a premium service and you're entitled to a refund, this is a scam. If you get far enough into a call with somebody you believe is legitimate and they suddenly want you to send them money using a verified payment partner like Google Play, basically anything from the gift cards rack, that is 100% a scam. Major caveat. Banks do sometimes call to verify transactions. If you get a voicemail from your bank, don't ignore it. Independently verify the information and check your online balance. Call the bank branch using the phone number listed on their site or using a search engine. Do not call the phone number the voicemail provides you. Edit. Lots of people saying this only happens to senior citizens. Young adults are too tech savvy to be scammed. A recent FTC study found that the highest rate of scammer fraud reports and identity theft happened to young adults 20 to 29. https://www.ftc.gov/news-events/press releases/2018/03/FTC releases annual summary complaints reported consumers. For the first time, the 2017 databook includes details on fraud losses broken out by age groups, as reported by consumers. Consumers in their 20s reported losing money to fraud more often than those over age 70. For example, among people aged 20 to 29 who reported fraud, 40% indicated they lost money. In comparison, just 18% of those 70 and older who reported fraud indicated they lost any money. While I agree this advice should be passed on to senior citizens, it definitely needs to be pressed on those in their late teens and early 20s. Get used to calling people on the phone, and not just using emails and messengers. When someone tells you to figure something out quickly, you can't be nervous to make a bunch of calls, because waiting for an email reply doesn't cut it. Do a brilliant job in whatever position you're in, but don't hesitate to move on to bigger and better if the opportunity presents itself. Don't let company loyalty be the only reason you turn down job offers. Give credit where it's due. If you get congratulated for the success of a team project, make sure to remind your boss that it was a team effort. If the time comes for you to leave your role, do what you can to avoid burning bridges. Don't bad talk your current workplace to your future workplace. Maintain the friendships you formed, etc. Above all, do not be stupid on social media. Companies are hiring firms to troll applicants' social media presence, and if you put your boss on blast on your private Facebook page, it will make it back to them. If you call in sick and then post pictures of yourself at the beach, it will get back to your boss. If you post an angry political diatribe, there's a decent chance it will make national news, and you might not get a job anywhere ever again. You're going to find high school level petty drama everywhere you go. The best thing to do is clock in, do your job, and clock out. If you are moving into an office environment, Excel is a fantastic skill to have. Even knowing how lookup and pivot tables work can get you far. Don't let your work become your identity. The moment you walk out the door, your job ends. Don't bring it home. Don't be afraid about asking for raises and coworkers' salary. Update your resume every 3 to 4 months. Be prepared to jump ship. Edit. There are exceptions to everything. Be kind at first. The benefits of being kind, or at the very least courteous, far outweigh the effort you put in. Do random acts of kindness. Compliment someone. If a retail or food service worker makes a mistake, be understanding and patient. Kind people live happily than unkind people. My father had taught me to be nice first, because you can always be mean later, but once you've been mean to someone, they won't believe the nice anymore. So be nice, until it's time to stop being nice, then destroy them. Lazy people of Reddit, how did you overcome your laziness? 2 things that helped at least a little bit. 1. Doing things early during the day. The later the day gets, the less likely I will do what I should do. This will also free your mind from that thing for the rest of the day. 2. Making a visual to-do list on a piece of paper placed in a spot that I will see it multiple times during a day. Routine. I'm a creature of habit. I had to force myself into the discomfort over and over again. Eventually this becomes the new normal. It's all habits. You have to force new ones. 2 things. Finding something I love doing for work and the 5-minute rule. Basically, if it will take you less than 5 minutes, you do it. This then applies to everything with motivation. You get to a point where, rather than having to motivate yourself to do things, you train yourself to respond to the thought. Rather than I should go to the gym being followed by trying to find the energy and being passive, you get into the habit of when you have that thought you change clothes, gather your stuff and leave the house immediately. It doesn't always help, but I achieve a lot more than I used to. I think the key to making it work is getting enough sleep. It took a while for me. I realized my laziness was probably due to being depressed, and I was depressed because I wasn't doing anything but coming home and smoking pot and playing video games. Now, I don't have problem with a little weed and video games, but for me it was routine. I started going to the gym every other day and started being more active to combat depression, and I've since lost /70 pounds and have become a lot happier with my way of life. I quit smoking mainly for the job I'm currently trying to get, and that only helped because rather than coming home and getting stoned, I wanted to do other things with my day. I have actual hobbies and interests now and find that I like myself as a person now. Whenever I've got a full-time job, it switches my life around. I want to go to the gym, see friends, cook, etc. When I'm part-time slash studying slash not working, I go back into mega lazy mode. A few comments call it what it is, and the others almost all seem to fall squarely into the realm of depression. The frustrating thing about this too of laziness, or being unmotivated, is that it's either ignored because you're lazy, or it's given that heavy diagnosis of depression. Not all forms of depression result in you being sad, suicidal, or miserable all the time. 4 years now I've been unmotivated, and what I thought was lazy. I'd wait till the last minute to do homework, I'd watch YouTube or TV for hours on end, not do much with my day, and I slowly stopped doing the things I enjoyed, like video games or working out. Then I ended up napping, a lot. Like physically couldn't stay awake, no matter how hard I tried. I went to the doctor, and they said the basic nonsense about diet and exercise, so I figured that I'd prove to them that wasn't the case. So I started eating better and exercising with no change. Saw a different doctor and she immediately diagnosed it as depression. I really didn't believe her, since I'm not sad, suicidal, or want to hurt other people. She gave me a referral to a therapist and left it up to me to decide when to go. Well, I bleeping procrastinated as usual, and it took me months to go. When I arrived I immediately told the therapist I think it's all bull bleep, and I'm not depressed. That's when she started explaining the different forms for depression, anxiety, and stress. It really bugs me that all forms of depression are grouped under the single name, as it prevents a lot of people from getting the really simple and basic help they need to get back on track with things. Anyway, she explained that this form of depression is caused by internalizing pressure and stress, which in turn exhausts you both mentally and physically. Mismanaging your time and procrastination slowly builds up a subconscious pressure that will drag you down, but it will also make you accustomed to the immediate reward of not doing something. A few examples. Not washing the dishes or doing the laundry causes you to think about it each time you see it or need a dish or piece of clothing. As it piles up, it also piles onto your subconscious. But instead of doing it, you can immediately get satisfaction by grabbing a new plate or a partly dirty shirt. It'll keep weighing on you though. Throughout the day, that pile will sneak into your mind for a few seconds and bring you down a little more. The same goes for sleeping. The more you hit snooze, or oversleep, or take naps, when you're tired, the more your body will become accustomed to the immediate reward of going back to sleep rather than the delayed reward of staying up and doing something productive. Anyway, I ended up going to a therapist for cognitive behavioral therapy, which turned into basically just a lesson on time management and balancing work/routine/hobbies. I'd recommend anyone who feels lazy to check it out. Things like SMART goals, the vicious/virtuous cycle, and the three-legged stool are all great tools to overcome this type of laziness and depression. Edit. This workbook, https://www.talkplus.org.uk/downloads_folder/behavioral_activation.pdf, UTM_SOURCE and UTM_MEDIUM=iOS_app, is what my therapist used, and it's incredibly helpful on its own. The most important thing to remember is to not jump straight into things and expect to be better in a day. I've been working at it for about a year now, and some days and weeks I fall back into old routines. Overall though, I went from sleeping until noon and going to sleep at crazy hours and getting 10 to 12 hours of sleep, eating like bleep, napping, and barely getting things done, to waking up at 6 AM, going to sleep at 11 PM, going to the gym every day, never napping, and getting tons of work done. Edit 2. Oh my lord, this really took off. I'll try to respond to as many people as possible between trying to reunite my colonies/crush the Byzantine Empire and bedtime. Gotta keep that healthy balance. Edit 3. Also, thank you so much for all the awards. I don't really know what they are, but it's neato. Also, thanks for people who have donated on my behalf to charities. That's a really amazing thing to do. Edit 4. It looks like the link has crashed, but this link to the PDF, https://www.talkplus.org.uk/downloads_folder/behavioral_activation.pdf, might be working. It's from TalkPlus, which is an NHS website here in the UK. Edit 5. The two links above were for the Behavioral Activation Workbook from TalkPlus based in the UK. Hopefully they'll be back up. I've looked for other workbooks like this one, https://cedar.exeter.ac/media/university/fexeter/school-of-psychology/cedar/control.pdf, which uses the same exercises and diagrams, but I've never used it personally. I realized that my laziness was a symptom of my depression, so I start treating my depression. I took my antidepressant, but also changed my lifestyle. Instead of getting out of bed with just enough time to get ready, I get up with time to jog, eat breakfast with my wife and daughter. I started meal prepping to make sure we could have healthy lunches and dinners. I also started doing more self-care. I'm down 15 pounds and feel a lot better. Not to diminish what other people are saying, but sometimes the just do it advice doesn't quite touch home for a lot of people, like me, who doesn't necessarily feel lazy, but just tired all the time, which can be construed as laziness. But do you ever notice, when you're feeling tired or lazy, it's usually when you're sitting, maybe watching TV, sitting on the computer, in a comfortable position? Sometimes being productive takes steps. One thing that helped me is to take the baby steps. I'll be sitting watching TV and start to doze off. What is one small thing that can help with that? Stand up and watch TV. It'll make you feel a little less tired. Standing and watching TV, then, might make you feel a little restless. Maybe you look over at the table and notice it's a little cluttered, so you walk over and clean it while you stand and watch TV. Maybe when you finish cleaning the table while you watch TV, you'll remember you have a project or assignment you need to work on, so you can start doing that while you stand and have the TV on in the background. Maybe when you worked on your project for a little while, you start to get a little mentally fatigued, so maybe you take a break with that by watching some TV, but maybe this time you do it while standing and doing some dishes. Simply standing is a huge starting point for me. Whenever I feel tired or lazy and I don't really want to be, and I want to be productive, I'll just stand up, maybe walk around the house a little bit. It gets the gears in motion for me, and it's an incredibly small but effective starter. A body in motion stays in motion and a body at rest stays at rest. I found out that is a very true statement. By procrastinating being lazy, I started a couple of fixed daily/weekly schedules, like what time to work out. I chose something that I enjoy doing and tie a fixed schedule to it, then expanded by scheduling more useful things like a sleeping schedule and eating schedule. I slip up occasionally, but those things that I like stay constant, and it helps. Men of Reddit, what instantly turned you off a woman? When she thought the appropriate response to me saying something she didn't agree with was a slap across the face. She had gotten into a fight with her friend because of something she was completely in the wrong about. I made the mistake of calling her out on it. Her daughter asked her for permission to go to a friend's house. She told her daughter to ask me for permission. We had only been dating for a month, and I had only met the kid once. I had never seen a 9-year-old cringe before. I thought maybe we could try an open relationship. And X200B. After I caught her bleeping one of my friends. My second date with this one girl was going to a Christmas party of mutual friend. After we were there for a little while, she started talking to this other guy and they went to some corner where no one else could interrupt them and talked for an hour. When they were done talking, she immediately told me she was leaving and up and bounced. Totally turned me off, so I didn't talk to her again for a while. A month later she reached out and was like, "Why haven't you called me?" I was kind of dumbfounded that she would actually ask. I didn't have anything else going on at the time, so I figured we could try again, but the Christmas party left such a bad taste in my mouth I couldn't even feign interest. Had a girl I dated, and we were pretty into each other. One day she got extremely upset with me for saying something pretty innocuous, because it reminded her of something from her past. I said I'd remember not to bring that up in the future, and apologized, though that didn't seem to suffice. It appeared I was to be punished or treated poorly for it. I asked if I could get a pass on this, as there was no way I could have known what I said would have bothered her, but no. I asked her if there was anything else that really set her off like this, and she said yes, though I'd have to find out on my own. I asked if there was anything I could do in the future to avoid upsetting her or causing one of these situations, and again she angrily said no. I was getting a little perturbed by this point and asked if she was really blaming me for saying something harmless that I had absolutely no idea would set her off that way, and she said yes. So I tried to reason with her one last time. So you're telling me that there is a minefield out there, that you know where all the mines are, but refuse to tell me, and that if I step on one of these and it goes off it is my fault and I should be punished as a result. Indeed she did. We were supposed to go out for supper, but I told her I wasn't hungry, got in my car and went home. If you're going to create the path and conditions of failure for our relationship, you can trust that I will find the shortcut every time. I had a girlfriend recently, only lasted about 7 months, and this is one of the reasons I, in the end, couldn't stand her. Every time she talked about something, and I thought she finished speaking, and I started to speak she continued speaking, but in slightly **louder tone, as if I rudely interrupted her. And if I happened to do it again she just went from loud to louder. Her speaking pattern was filled with pauses, so it was very easy to mistake one of those pauses for a finished sentence. We were both 20, hanging out at her nice apartment. She casually, proudly told me she had a sugar daddy, a married guy I knew and loathed. Seeing her treat her parents like doormats. Told her friend in public that my mom was stupid and made fun of her for 20 minutes. She didn't know my mother's friend was sitting next to her in the restaurant and heard the whole thing. We were in college and in a different town, which made the whole experience for her that much more unfortunate. I was done, particularly because my mom was nothing but the kindest person to her and made every effort to make her feel welcome when she visited. She told me she expected me to text her good morning every single morning before her. The bleep got up at 6 every day and I don't get up till 8. Bleep off, that is horse bleep.